Leonard Cohen from his Massey Hall concert taped live last November in Toronto. It's wall-to-wall Leonard Cohen today on The Entertainers. I want to take you backstage for a conversation I had with Leonard before the concert. And as usual, we started off with the rather conventional,
hello.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. We just drove in from Chicago just now.
So you're a little...
Well, they have these good bunks on the bus.
I've always wondered about that. Is it really... Do you sleep really well with the movement of the bus? Or?
Very, very good. It's a little difficult to get into the bunk because they're stacked in three in a row. And some of the guys in the band are kind of big.
What do you get, the top or the bottom?
I get the very lowest
one.
The
lowest one. You don't want to fall out or anything.
Well, that was the one that was left.
Oh, I see. All right. Did you ever have bunks as a kid? Bunk beds?
At camp, yeah.
Yeah. Which one did you take there? High or low?
I like the high ones.
Yeah. But you didn't... It was harder to make your bed, right?
Yes, it was harder.
Did you do it, though, anyway?
Diligently.
You have a sense of duty as a...
Very, very highly developed.
Especially to bunk beds. Yeah. Well, I get that. You know... You're a funny guy, aren't you? I mean, people are always telling me how serious and dark and mysterious you are, and I get the feeling you enjoy laughing. You have fun.
Yes, I have a good time.
So how come people take you so serious? Or do you want them to?
I don't have any strategy in this matter. My friends know I'm good for a laugh or two.
Do you have any strategies at all when it comes to the stuff you do?
It's hard to develop a strategy, especially in this accidental life. Contrary to what Wordsworth said, I never felt my life was recollected in tranquility. It seems like you're on the front line of your own life, and you don't have too much opportunity for making grand plans, just trying to deal with the events that arise.
There is an irony in your success now, in that there was time when record companies didn't want to have you on their label anymore in the mid-'80s and all this, and Jennifer Warnes puts out an album and they return your calls and off you went.
I've always been able to sustain a modest career in Europe. It's been much less secure in North America, but Jennifer's record did do a lot in resurrecting my credentials.
Europe? Why Europe and not here?
I used to say it's because they don't understand the words.
But besides that, there must be some other reason.
Perhaps they don't have to look too hard to be able to place me. Somehow they have a tradition in most of the European countries of somebody who can't sing, who just stands up and tells his story.
So they're not as fixated on the goal, they're more interested in the process?
I think they're just this tradition of self-revelation in popular music. We have it here. It's called country western music.
You think that's where it lies, in country and western?
I think it does in this part of the world, yeah. I think that's where the deeper and more complex subjects are treated. Popular music seems, a lot of the pop tunes are about first love, or just some kind of a sense of dis-ease about things. But country music, often the singers are older, they stay around a longer time, and they can treat in a kind of serious way their lives, their marriages, their work.
In Spain, you had a number one hit, did you not, in Spain?
I think in several European countries we had, I don't know what place in the charts were, but the records were gold and platinum. I think it was platinum in Spain.
And one of them was a song for Lorca. There's a large and long history of you and Lorca. You named one of your children Lorca.
I named my daughter Lorca. Federico García Lorca was a Spanish poet who was assassinated in 1936 by the Civil Guard. And he was a poet, I guess the first poet that really touched me. I came upon one of his books when I was 15 or 16 in a secondhand bookstore in Montreal. And I read those lines, I think, I want to pass through the arches of Elvira to see her thighs and begin weeping. Those were the first lines of writing that universe that he presented was a universe that I understood, that I lived in. So he was the first poet, first writer to touch me, so I feel a special affection to him, and I was happy to be able to render this tiny homage to him, translating and setting to music one of his very great poems.
It must have been quite a feeling to be there in Spain and do concert, around that.
They liked it. They liked that song there.
But they don't speak English.
No, but there's a chorus that goes, I.
And then they got that part, yeah. That's kind of a universal I. It could be any Latin-based language, I think. Did you ever make a conscious decision about popularizing yourself so that you didn't become a bookshelf poet? I mean, I think of you and Irving Layton way back when, and Irving Layton sort of stuck to putting them in books, and if you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and you seem to have made much more of a push towards a mass acceptance and a popular acceptance.
Well, I always wanted to be loved by as many people as possible. I always played music, and I loved the song. I love folk songs, and I don't even mind being described as a folk singer, although I think it's a very inaccurate description. Irving Layton is squarely in a literary tradition, and he has a continuous and deep conversation with immortality. He wants to live forever and probably will. He's put out over 40 books now. I'm much more scattered in a certain sense. I'll move from song to verse to prose. I tour. It's a very different kind of life, superficially.
Yeah.
I think that both of us are serious men whose lives are absolutely committed to the work.
So therein lies the commitment and the spirituality as well. At different times that I've read or heard what you do, I get a different sense of what you're looking for spiritually. There always seems to be the quest. And it seems to come in ways.
I'll go back to that front line metaphor. I don't have a spiritual strategy. Occasionally your back is against the wall and you cry out for help, but that becomes a kind of song. Events surround you. You develop a sense of resignation. That becomes perhaps a song like "If It Be Your Will." You're provoked. You're feeling somewhat demented. That becomes a geopolitical manifesto full of menace, like First We Take Manhattan. But these things develop with a sense of immediacy, although the process of refinement is very long. The impulse for the work is immediate and stunning.